Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm your GetSetUp guide. And today we're going to be talking about a nut burger. And we're also going to make some meatballs, sort of, with our mix. Be sure to jump in and chat with any thoughts you have, answer our polls, and provide feedback. It's very valuable to us. Okay, we are starting with a hot frying pan and 1/4 cup about of a mixture that I have already prepared. You'll see the consistency is a little bit like hamburger. It's a little wetter, possibly, but we will cook that moisture out. The main ingredient of these, like I said, is nuts, and I use pecan flour. This is called pecan flour even though there is no gluten, no grains, only very finely ground pecans. Has a marvelous smell. You can probably use any nuts that you like. I think higher fat nuts probably will hold together and fry up a little easier. But try it. Try them all. Might be kind of fun. So we're going to take 1/4 cup of the mixture. To start with, I have a hot pan with a bit of oil in and an induction top, which is going to want to beep on us. I can tell it's nice and hot because of the sizzling sound when I lift the lid. I'm happy about. I'm going to get a little bit of oil around it. You can actually cut the oil way down on this. The more non-stick your pan is, of course, the better it's going to come back up again. But the oil does give it a little bit of the typical texture of a burger. This is, I'm very pleased, is a recipe that uses only natural ingredients, nothing manufactured in a lab, and yet it is a vegetarian recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and just fry 3 patties, and you can see they hold together a little bit. You may have to do a little manipulating to make sure that none of the parts are a little too thin. And I'm just using a 1/4 cup measure to kind of help get them shaped. I want to use the lid because in using less oil, we are actually going to use some of the steam that is created from that. I have it set on the induction oven at 600, but if you use your regular stove top, you just want it in a lower heat because we're going to be using both the steam and the frying feature of the pan. Now, most importantly, these have very little salt in them, and so it also has only very natural flavors. You're going to add a little bit of seasoning. You know what it's like to cook a burger and put no seasoning on it? A bit bland. So I'm going to put a little bit of seasoned salt, and this is the only salt that I am adding to it. By putting it on before it's turned over, we have a better possibility of the seasoning salt actually sticking to the patty and not just falling off. So this is just a little Mexican seasoning. If you don't want any salt at all, there's a possibility of adding garlic or onion powder. And that way you get no salt, no sodium. Okay, while these are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and set my watch timer because they will have to be turned over. And of course, my watch timer is acting up. Okay. So we're going to cook the first for 3 minutes. I'm going to set my timer and then keep an eye on it and turn them over after the 3 minutes. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to show you something about making the rounds, which I call balls. I have shaped several balls already, and these we are going to cook in the air fryer. These are homemade breadcrumbs, just some of the sourdough bread, which you can find on another spot on this site, how to make that. And we just coat them lightly. I have already begun to fill our fryer basket. I'm very carefully transferring these to the basket so that they don't fall apart in the process. And when they are done, they will stick together very well. Okay, and now on goes the air fryer. We want it again at a lower heat and only for about 5 minutes. So in a way, this is a much quicker recipe than you would for normal burgers. There are some eggs in, and that is the main part of the patty that needs cooking. And now we're going to put the temperature on. Okay, so I've got 5 minutes here, and temperature is going to go on about 320. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. In about 6 minutes, we'll check to make sure they're actually set up. When you break them apart, you want to make sure that they're actually cooked all the way through. If you can see bits of egg white that are not cooked, then you want to put them back in and get them redone, because you don't want to be eating any raw egg whites. This recipe has made 5 burgers, and I think I have about 8 balls in, and we have just a little bit left. Okay, so on our timer, we're at almost 3 minutes, and then I'm going to turn those over. You might have noticed that I didn't add any seasoning to the balls. I actually happen to like them without anything added. But if I eat lower salt, so I don't notice the salt. There is a little bit of cheese in them, and that will actually add to the saltiness. Okay, we're at 3 minutes, and we're going to turn the burgers over. You can see that they are starting to hold their shape, and they are setting up in the middle. And also they move around in the pan quite easily. So we have a good non-stick pan. That's helpful. And the oil helps also. So when I flip them over, you can see they are nice and well cooked. Now, because we've already got them set up, we only need to brown basically the second side, which is why I'm going to reset my timer for 2 minutes. Okay? And then in 2 minutes, we will take the burgers out, let them cool down a bit, and put them between whatever breads or buns that you like. I am not going to resalt these because the salt is in on the other side. And so we just have to keep an eye on them and make sure that they don't get too dark. Okay, we're going to check to see how the bottom side of our burgers went out. And I think, so here is the part that cooked first. Here's the part that cooked secondly. You can see how some parts were in contact with the pan a little more, cooked a little more. Now that's pretty typical for a burger, cooked a little more, but to me it looks cooked through. And the thing that we want to make sure of is that we have cooked our eggs. We're not going to eat the eggs raw because there is always that risk of contamination. And now we have 3 very fragrant burger patties. Next, we're going to check our fryer, which actually just said that it finished. So, let's pull it out. Okay. Are you able to see that? Yeah. As you can see, they're holding together. They're not nearly as dark as our patties, but they're holding their shape. So I think I'm going to go ahead and test one. Let's be on the safe side to put that down here. We're going to, it's hot. All right, I saw a little bit of egg protein, just a bit. I see also a little bit of moisture, more than I'm comfortable with. And I'm going to go ahead and put this back in along with the balls. Now, one thing you can do to kind of speed things up, possibly turn them over, but frankly, I don't know that that's going to make too much difference, but we know we'll get a more even cook when we have both top and bottom being cooked separately. Okay, and back in, I think maybe only for about a minute. Let's see how that goes. Okay. All that confident with the air fryer. But I am here to tell you that it's not as hard as I've been afraid that it is. And so I encourage you to experiment like I have been today with an air fryer. Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on the time by resetting my timer. Marvelous little gadget on the watch, thankfully. That was 1 minute and 15 seconds. Okay, I definitely have a good cooking on the one that we broke open, so let's check another one. This is a little bit of cheese here that's gotten melted. And yes, you can see there it's dry. There's a little cheese there, but it's all the way dry through. So our balls are done. And carefully, without getting too close to the edges, we just remove them from the pan. Thank you very much for attending today. We have a lot more classes online. We encourage you to take a look and join us.